Hi, Tom Lydon here in Chicago at the Morningstar Conference here with Sebastian Benkert, who's CMO at ARK Invest. Great seeing you, Sebastian.
Great to see you, Tom.
There's a lot going on in the marketplace. This is a great conference, but I want to talk about technology.
Yes.
We have a great run for 10 years in the stock market. Everyone tends to talk about the FANG stocks, but behind the scenes, there are a lot of disruptive technologies that you folks specialize in. Talk about that.
Yes, so ARK is entirely focused on disruptive innovation. The folks who know us know that we try to capture it. We break it down in 5 innovation platforms that we've identified in our research. That is robotics, energy storage, blockchain technology, DNA sequencing, and artificial intelligence. Those 5 major innovation platforms drive further innovation, and we do top-down and bottom-up research to then identify where's technology bringing us, is the technology ready for prime time and ready to provide growth to our investors, and then ultimately offering investment strategies that give investors exposure to that.
So you've got ETFs that represent those 5 strategies, and you've got an ETF that's kind of a combination of all of them as well, right?
Correct. ARKK, our disruptive innovation ETF, captures all of those themes that we've identified, trying to give a little bit exposure to everything. If investors are looking for a little bit more narrowly defined thematic exposure, let's say to web technologies, AI, you have ARKW, Next Generation Internet ETF, or Genomic Revolution is one of the main topics right now we're talking a lot about in the media. That would be ARKG, a Genomics Revolution ETF that's focused on healthcare and technology in the intersection of that.
And that area is one of my favorites. I mean, so a couple of things. We're going to get to that in a second. All your ETFs are actively managed.
Correct.
And they're transparent.
All of them with the exception for 2, which are very narrowly defined. That is ICRL, Israel Innovation ETF. We identified Israel to be a real innovation hub. Became a developed country, but because of it, led to the fact that a lot of investors are underexposed to the considering how much innovation Israel is providing, and then PRNT, 3D printing ETF. Those 2 are index ETF, self-indexed based on our research that we created.
Gotcha.
All the other ones are fully actively managed.
Yeah. And genomic sequencing, for example, I heard your analyst telling the story about what it costs to get your genome, DNA sequenced just 5 years ago, and how expensive it is and how inexpensive it is today, and the fact that within 2 years, when you get your regular annual checkup, you'll not just have a blood test, but they'll also go through your DNA as well.
Exactly, and this is actually a really good example for what we're doing when we're saying we're researching innovation and trying to identify, is it ready? DNA sequencing, we started sequencing the first human genome, and it costs over $1 billion. It was way too expensive. Even if we would have cut costs by 80-90%, it still would have been way too expensive for the broader market to adopt it. Nowadays, we came down to sequencing a full human genome to roughly $1,000, and we believe in the next 2 to 3, 4 years, this will come down to $100. And then we're exactly at where you are, what you just mentioned, your annual checkup, and we're going to be introducing real science into healthcare and identifying cancer before it even is noticeable in your DNA, which are coding errors, right? So super exciting, and that is exactly what we're looking for, is the innovation ready, and will the market, and that is what we're looking for. Massive cost decline, cross-sector, so does it go across sectors, and does it spawn further innovation? DNA sequencing is a perfect example of that.
Any chance for a cure for male pattern baldness at all with that?
We're working on that, I'll keep you posted, Tom.
Good. Hey, always good seeing you. And I want to remind everybody, if you want to get some information, go to arkinvest.com, is that right?
Yes, we are an ETF issuer, but also as an advisor, we love to educate people about innovation. We want to share, we have a podcast, we have a weekly newsletter, we publish white paper blogs.
We do webcasts?
We do webcasts together. We've been working with ETF Trends and ETF.com for pretty much all the 5 years we've been around. And yes, education and getting people excited and understanding disruptive innovation is a big part of what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Great seeing you. Thanks,
Thank you so
Sebastian.
much.